I've already told you, sir, and anyway, my special guest, one-on-one, a former Director of Communications at the Presidency under Professor John Evans Atta Mills of blessed memory. Say, Onona Oda Atta Mills Institute, ano as Executive Director. Na ene nso so no watworo book bi nso aba bontene a ntimetimi aka se oye author oye politician enso so eka ho papa ya meka na asem nso wasua sofudie anase wako School of Theology akosua ya sofudie anesa. I'm not too sure if he's a commissioned reverend minister and a pastor there, but I would find out once I start off with him. I'm talking about the man Koku Anyidoho. Chief,
well, Bibi, thank you very much.
Long time.
Well, Charlie, we
did. They follow you on X. Ototo Salvos or Hona. I follow a few of the interviews on Swahili.
Yeah.
And you are doing well. And you are looking well too.
Thank you. I mean, before we even start this interview, let me just close my eyes for 30 seconds for my own friend.
Emmanuel Akroma Archives.
Archives was one of the great guys in the industry.
That's right.
When he moved from multimedia.
Exactly.
And started going around. Great producer.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Par excellence.
Oh, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But a lot of presenters, passed through his hands.
That's
and
true.
The last time actually I was in the studios here, it was Archives who brought me here.
Okay.
Yeah. Then somewhere along the line one day, me see me in Kache.
Yeah.
My friend the number, ne ba, and the fire say, ne papa, aka baby.
Oh.
I mean, very unassuming and quiet but very efficient.
Yeah.
Workaholic, papa. Oh, I'm telling you. But I mean, those were the early days. Of new media in the system and people like that, you don't know where they got the talent from.
You know he produced Komla Dumo.
I know, that's what I'm saying, from multimedia.
Yeah.
Archives, that's where he started from, multimedia. Komla Dumo's one of the great guys, behind Komla Dumo.
Yeah.
Of course, then later on he started moving around and he finished Happy at Happy FM. And go on for the crazy.
Yeah. He was first to report to work and last to live. Every time.
I won't doubt it. I won't doubt it.
Archives, maybe I will be a nyamin for cra in CAA. Koku, beyond that, one can sound here.
Of course, by the kind grace of God. I mean, don't I look well?
Oh, you do. You look well.
Very well. Very extremely well. I mean, oh, well, a combination of so many things. But me can't now.
Oh, okay.
Me can't for no. Program no start here. I must send messages.
I tell you. Now monitor.
I don't monitor. That's how monitor with technology. You can monitor anything.
Exactly.
So make up come formula analysis here. I'm telling you. Sorry. At the archives. So first of all, let me also thank you and your producer for the opportunity. We're chasing me, but I and this morning, yesterday I was on Hot FM.
Okay.
In the morning. And I was telling Don, the show host, Bibi, tell your people that, Koku Anyidoho, I have been around for very long.
Yeah.
And I don't discriminate.
Okay.
Some of the politicians, they have segmented the media.
Okay.
They have created their own segments. And they have certain radio stations.
Okay.
Some other radio stations, too low for them. Into from the day I began, first of all, 1993, when I finished the University of Ghana, my first degree. Guess where I did my national service? GBC.
Okay.
And those days it was only GBC.
Yeah.
Only GBC. The national broadcaster.
Yeah.
So talking about Komla Dumo, that's where Komla Dumo had come to do national service, not as a graduate.
Okay.
It's a long story. He had come from Nigeria with the father. And now the Ghanaian educational system. And so some technicalities, yes, on your national service answer. Anyway, so that's how I met Komla.
Okay.
In 93. Quite a number of us, myself, Richmond Kilson. I think Giftianti was also an intern from GIJ.
Okay.
And quite a number of us at the time. And I was doing both radio and television.
Okay.
And those were the days of Indutech and Gifex.
Yeah. Indutech.
And I used to anchor Indutech, Gifex.
From location?
From location.
Okay.
With the OB van.
I see.
And I was an anchor with the OB van.
Okay.
And very interesting. I mean, some of them, my producers, Jack Morrow.
Hey, Jack Morrow.
Yeah.
That's nobody you.
I'm telling you, Eric Blockmore and co-produced me.
Okay.
In between that, I was also reading Reflections. I was doing voiceover.
We are taking me back.
I'm telling you,
Reflections.
Yes.
And only the last thing that
last
GBC
thing.
answer no more.
Answer na GBC Bepon.
Yeah.
And I was doing a VO
voiceover,
VO
okay.
for
Reflections.
Then on radio, one of my producers was Chris Taki.
Okay.
And so we started doing some marketing programs. So we'll go to shops and look. In between that time, then I had to leave.
GBC.
No, I had to go to the UK
Okay.
for my first master's
Okay.
at the University of East Anglia in Norwich. So this was in 95.
Okay.
And make on me admission. I said, Maminko. Because by that time, I was hitting up in the media circles. Masa.
Now we now.
Oh, I mean, when you are running ads or doing voiceover for Ashtec, Ashfoam, I mean, and those were the early days of.
So your voice was in high demand, eh?
I was even doing ads for Revlon.
Oh, I see.
Look, so when you fast forward, and one has come a long way.
Yeah.
Of course, politics has come into it.
Exactly.
Even my political life, Bibi, go and check from the University of Ghana days.
Students' politics.
Masa,
Ujinamu.
my group, very instrumental in restoring democracy in 1992.
Okay.
A lot of the looters that we held between 1990, 91, 92. Go and check the records. Masa, at a point in time, one of the looters now, Satana, the late Peter Nafuri.
Okay.
And IGP. Oh, come on. Bring here.
I know, and I'm free the offline check.
And that was the timer. Bullet because hit UPSA Lady B Vida something. It was IPS at the time.
That time, IPS.
Good. And that was how Hawa Yakubu came to the forefront of, let's say, kind of fighting the status quo.
Okay.
Because she was an independent candidate at the time. And
she took on the matter.
Now, Bibi, I say these things so that when the young guys today who insult, all they do is insult. They don't know you. In fact, yesterday, after church, I met one of them.
Okay.
But apparently he has started following my narrative.
Okay.
After 24th July this year, I in Sembiko CEO Asomdwe Park. And I'm in
now we need
I wasn't there.
Yeah, we'll come to that matter.
I was not there. Yet they tried to draw me into it because Koku Anyidoho sells.
You were not there, Sese.
Oh, Masa. You check. If I was there, that's why up to today, they haven't brought one shot, one image of Koku Anyidoho at Asomdwe Park.
You read headlines like Koku stepped on the wrong foot.
Good.
And we will deal with
that. That's not Samuel Atta Mills. I don't know, say they will use spiritual, legal, and physical means to do it. I will come to him later. This guy, who was complete nobody at the castle when his brother was alive. Nobody.
Nobody
he had no office. He had no locus. He had no designation.
Cadman?
Not Cadman. The other one, Samuel Atta was the MP for KE.
Yeah.
I'm not even too sure how he became MP for KE. But that's a different conversation altogether.
But he went through the mill.
You see, because for 12 years, I've kept quiet. Because me mum na me pe cohesion. Bibi.
For 12 years, have you really kept quiet?
Well,
you've been talking.
I'm not even speaking, but this time around, I've decided to go into details on some of the issues because, Masa, enough is enough.
I see. What do some
I do not owe John Mahama anything. I don't owe him anything. I do not owe him anything. I didn't know him until he became President Moses' running mate.
Oh, really?
I didn't know him. I didn't know him. I mean, he existed in the system, but I had no relationship with him.
Okay.
But you see, when you work for a system and your boss calls you and says, Koku, I'm making XYZ my running mate, I have no option.
Oh
yeah, President, look. The way I cherish that man, first of all, let me just state for the records. A certain Neil Lante Vanderpoy, who goes around lying through his teeth, said, Onono introducing me to NDC. And Onono saw me inside the President Mills. Look, Bibi, I was born in Bema Camp.
Yeah.
May 15th, 1979. June 4th, 1979. 31st December 1981. I was a schoolboy growing up in Bema Camp, Kotoka Primary School. Now, in this book, you will find some of the history captured here. How growing up in Bema Camp, at the age of 8, standing on top of Kotoka Primary School, up and down.
Okay. Abrosign.
Then you could see Nicholson Park.
Okay.
And Nicholson Park was the base for a lot of the revolutionary gathering.
Okay.
And now Ubehuna Rollins, bare-chested.
Okay.
Ujina Muwakneso. Now boys in the training was here. I'm a small boy growing up in Bema Camp. Action. Rollins was my personal hero growing up. Especially one day during the revolution now, one of his colleagues, unfortunately, one Major Collison, and it's all captured in the book.
Okay.
In the Chukanona Otoye, Rollins himself was carrying Collison's casket in front of the Kotoka Primary School. Okay. So those who know Bema Camp, from Nicholson traffic light, past Kotoka Primary School, past Gaffey, Kingsway, then to Post Office Square, then to the Garrison Methodist Church. I said, wow.
No, crack casket, you know.
He was part of the pallbearers. That's Rollins for you. That's how I got affiliated to Rollins.
Okay. Is that how you got into the NDC?
So that's PNDC era.
Okay.
PNDC. That's PNDC. NDC, I'm telling you that. So in 1990, 91, 92, on Legon campus, when we were fighting for the restoration of democracy. Why? We wanted democracy because we had to move away from the military into democratic. 92, Milante was not on Legon campus with me. I remember before my God and my maker, the ballot box in front of my hall, Legon Hall. When I went to vote, I voted NDC. How did Neil Lante influence my voting NDC in 92? When I didn't even know him at the time.
Obey me to about my NDC, but you were not a member then.
Well, membership means what?
Membership means bearing a card.
People like Fifi Kwete were my contemporaries on Legon campus.
Okay.
And I always say it, Fifi Kwete is open, NDC work. And so people like Fifi Kwete, go and ask them.
But how can somebody say so no do by NDC when you say
that
we encounter with Neil Lante
because look, the first time I really encountered Neil Lante on the political landscape was 2004.
Oh, 2004.
The first time I really met him.
Okay.
Within this NDC politics was 2004.
At that time, you had become a member of the NDC already.
What are you talking about? 2004, 2000 when NDC lost. 2001. Yen ye form NDC Youth Forum. Koku Hill. Now Neil Lante. He was not part of the Youth Forum.
He's
just a braggart. That's all he does. He's just a braggart, brags. What he hasn't done, he says he has done. What he hasn't seen, he has seen. Where he hasn't gone, he has gone. That's how come he created problems for himself with President Mills.
But what he say? Neil Lante say, why would he say as someone
because that's the impression he tries to create. That he took me to, and I'm telling you that the first time I saw Neil Lante, and he's in Ghana. I'm in Ghana. If he's ready one day, let's have an open debate. Because I've had enough of the attempt to create the impression that he created me. You Neil Lante, how could you create me?
How did you enter the NDC?
I am telling you that in 1992, the NDC was giving birth to in Cape Coast.
Yeah.
Is that not it?
True.
So on Legon campus, we were NDC students on Legon campus.
Okay.
And so 1992, I voted in front of Legon Hall. I voted NDC 92. 96, I told you about my first masters.
Yeah.
I left the country 95. So 96, I was not in the country. Anymore. So I couldn't vote.
Okay.
Because there was nothing even about ROPA those days. 2000, I voted NDC.
Oh, but back.
I was back in town then.
Okay.
I voted NDC. And I've always voted NDC. So, and I'm telling you that Neil Lante Van Der Poel, my first encounter with Neil Lante Van Der Poel politically was in 2004. After Jake Koye's press conference,
declare
Kufuor winner. So we were the Koku Hill boys.
Okay.
Then Neil Lante drove in. And that time Stan Dogbe and this Komnadu Moya, they were the NDC, the MPP. Well, they were the media guys on Joy, who declared the results for MPP. That they had done all the simulation, they had done everything.
Projections.
MPP has won. NDC cannot do anything about it.
This was 2004.
Stan Dogbe. And my late brother Komla Dumo. That's what they did at Multimedia. Komla, may you also rest in peace. So after that declaration, of course, subsequently the EC declared
the
MPP winner.
Yeah.
So we, the Koku Hill boys, we were there. And I remember how Neil Lante drove in. Where he drove in from, I'm not too sure. He was now coming in to come and ask, what are we doing about the declaration that has taken place? That was the first time I encountered him.
Okay.
He was not part of the NDC. I challenged Neil Lante Van Der Poel.
And at that time, Koku Hill was Professor Mills' office.
That was his shrine, President Mills' shrine. I call it political shrine. Neil Lante was not part of the Youth Forum from 2001. In fact, he wasn't up to today. He wasn't part of it. Why? So when he goes around saying, when did he bring me to the NDC? How did he bring me to the President? Look,
who is your godfather when NDC anymore?
President Mills. There are only two godfathers.
When?
President Mills and Professor Uno.
Okay.
That's all. I don't have any other godfather in NDC. Magana Yakari Tom.
Oh, sir.
Nobody. I said, so 2001. So we lost 2000. 2001, Bibi. I was working at the Metropolitan and Ally Bank.
Yeah.
The first private commercial bank in Ghana. A Ghanaian Malaysian collaboration.
Yeah.
Which had then Mr. Alexa Shagbo, a two-time governor of the central bank, as the executive chairman.
Okay.
And I was his executive assistant.
Okay.
So, Bibi, we have gotten, by the grace of God, we've gotten exposure. Long before we entered politics, an executive assistant to an executive chairman, attending board meetings within the financial sector, here in Ghana.
And abroad.
Name it, Wall Street. Meeting with,
saying.
The point I'm making is so I was gainfully employed at the time that the NDC lost in 2000. So 2001, when a group of young guys came together to form the Youth Forum. In the past, I used to mention their names.
Okay.
But I've stopped mentioning their names.
Why?
No. Let them tell their own story.
Okay.
But I will mention some names.
Okay.
The late Gadiel Aqua. We called him Utache.
Okay.
The late Jijote. May their soul rest in peace. John Adams, who was our convener. Komla Sopo. Komla Biyako, we call him Sopo Sale.
Okay.
Isaac Afeti. Clarissa Akolache. I like to mention those people because those people have never been in contention, have never had any contention with me.
Okay.
The ones that are your friends and your colleagues and your contemporaries who think that they are in some psychological battle with you, let them tell their own story. But all I can say is that people like Okujotoa Blakwa and Omani Bwama were never part of the Youth Forum.
Are they claiming to have been?
I'm just stating that record so that nobody thinks that they were part of us. They were not part of us.
But it's also a record said they have never claimed to have been.
I didn't say so, but I'm only saying they were not part of us.
Okay.
These boys just came 2008 through CGA and their master Kwesi Pratt, and they came through and they came and joined. Why? Are they dumb? So he said people will join at different levels, but let's take the record straight. How can I leave?
What else you member of
the point
NDC?
I'm making, so I'm coming to the point. Let me don't jump my thoughts. Just to establish so that I've been in NDC and I only met Neil Ante in 2004.
Okay.
President Mills taught all of us at Legon. And so my relationship with President Mills also started from Legon. I knew him, not because he lectured me in class, but he was a lecturer on campus that we all knew.
No,
you are the cherefo. Now Legon. So students knew him. I mean, that kind of thing. And son of of course, vice president.
Yeah.
So I kept an eye on him. 2000, Obey candidate in Oluzu, 2001, and I called Canada. So he went on a 1-year sabbatical.
Okay.
And now, Nkolana Yeguechi, Koku Hill. Talk about it. And say 2002. And I was made a member of the Koku Hill communications team.
Okay.
While I was at the bank.
Okay.
Now, 2001, Bibi, when the chips were down, Nakufo, meaning Crawford, Tata, Rollins, near Fred Rollins, I call President Mills fee, and see what we are cast. I call Tata Nadu, say, you're paying for, they say report to Yoko, all kinds of things. That was when my gift of writing started.
Okay.
Of course, I used to write, but then officially now, I started writing under pseudonyms.
Okay.
Using pen names. Because my job will not allow me.
Exactly. To stick your neck out like that. Partisanly.
Good. But you close from the bank, remove your tie, go to Koku Hill, go for meetings. Sunday, we'll go and watch football at Accra Sports Stadium. From there, we are back at Koku Hill till midnight. We're having meetings. And because one was working.
What shall you've paid your due?
Because we were working, we had some money. So we could finance certain activities. And those were the early days of serial calling. Into phone lines, Koku Hill, no.
No serial calling.
There was even a culture of back pass those days.
Yeah.
Hijacking one line now. Back pass. It's one line. People say 7 bit.
Exactly.
Of course, those were the early days of even serial calling.
Yeah.
Baby, we've gone through that. Then, so as a member of the Koku Hill communication team, Rojo Metonunu, he was the chairman of the committee.
Okay.
And at 2004, Anye. 2005, still at the bank.
Koku, fast forward the kakra.
Hold on. Yes. Then one morning, I had just finished morning devotion.
Okay.
When President Mills, then of course Professor Mills. So he had lost 2004.
Yeah.
So technically, he was not the candidate of the party.
Exactly.
So somewhere along the line, he called and said, Koku, prior to that,
okay.
But he wants a very small team. But enterprising people.
Okay.
And he's looking for an enterprising Voltairean.
Okay.
So, Koku, can you help me identify somebody? Okay. If I never occurred to me, say, but my question was that, but Papa, maybe on my bank, me and you youth forum and so me me articles that they support. Where am I going to find the person from for you? Exactly. That was my thinking.
Okay.
He called once again. Kokovi found the person. I said, "Oh, sir, I'm still searching." But be fine, Bibi.
When you were being discussing,
the only person who knew this story was Kobi Fiagbe.
Oh, okay, Kobi.
Yeah,
I know he's listening right now.
I mean, Kobi knows this story very well.
Okay.
One morning, I had finished my morning devotion. I actually had my knees on the ground. I finished praying. Okay. Amen. Then the call came. Professor Mills. Koku, how are you? I said, fine, sir. Well, this Voltairean thing I've been telling you about, honestly, it is you that I've been looking for. I just didn't know how to tell you, but now I'm telling you, Koku. I couldn't tell you because you are working at the bank.
Yeah.
And this job will have to be a full-time job.
Yeah.
And if you resign, I don't know how I'm going to pay you.
Okay.
But it is you I'm looking for because...
That was a huge risk.
Look, It is you I'm looking for because I've been reading your articles. Mm-hmm. I know you. I know your father. I've been watching you. The way you carry yourself, the way you write, the way you speak, the way you articulate your issues. You're not afraid of speaking your mind. I believe, Koku, that there's something you can do to help me. First of all, win the internal primaries in 2006. And then we can go on to win the election. Bibi, all I could say was, sir, I'll work for you. My wife, or my fiancée at the time, Mercy, was sitting on the bed and was listening to all these conversations. So I said, sir, don't worry. I'll resign. Yes, sir, don't worry, I'll resign. But sir, on condition that you will never betray me and never turn your back to me. Once you give me your loyalty, sir, if I have to die, I'll die for you.
That was still a risk, eh?
Serious risk. So when I finished, and then Mercy asked me, Koku, who are you talking to? I said, oh, Professor Mills. So what's this business about you resign? And I will be resigned. I said, oh, Mercy, in Commander, the Papa say, Opesa only me yejuma. Now you're full-time yejuma, but don't worry. Mercy never said anything. She never dissented. Bibi, this was, I think, Monday. By Friday, I had resigned.
Wow.
I was the head of Treasury.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Treasury and Finance.
And that was a top job.
Look, I resigned. And then that was the beginning of now the opposition political journey. So this is a man who called me. Now, I keep telling people, and the Prophet himself, I told him that, sir, you remember that morning when you called me? For me, it was like Jesus Christ around the shores of Galilee. Who Peter, ni John, ni Andrew, ni Thomas, ni Bartholomew, no. Bibi, now as a theologian and getting understanding, and of course I've been to Israel a couple of times, I know the Sea of Galilee. Peter, John, Andrew, and co, they were not paupers.
Oh yeah.
They were not jobless.
Okay,
because to be a fisherman, even today in Galilee, then in those days, because to own a vessel and to have nets at the time, they were men of substance. Luke was a physician. But when the calling came from the Christ,
they had to abandon.
Stop being fishers of fish. Let's go and fish for men. It's the same thing. I was not unemployed. I was not unschooled. I was not uneducated. I was not a hustler. But when the calling came, I left my job. If I tell you,
Tebetima can say 2006 bad year, full time. Okay,
and
for Professor Mills.
People will call me and laugh at me. Are you mad? What about them? Papa, we are yari. I will lose 2000. We'll lose 2004. We'll lose 2008. No. On a godimity. Anyway, Jawa Juma. Come bed deal, Papa. We see no problem. No problem. No problem. No problem. And he said, Bibi, nkakra. So then we now came and won 2006, the internal primaries. Candidate Mills, Professor Mills, Edianan, Spiogabra, and Alhaji Muhammad Risu. Legon, N1. N-block, sorry. We beat them neatly. All that time, I was there with the man. Just with him. I can't say me alone anyway, but it's my story I'm telling. Canadian. Then we won, and now that 2006 BB, the Congress was 23rd, 24th, no, 22nd, 23rd, 24th December. 22nd, 23rd. It's the 24th night. Me and this same Neil and Van der Poel. And a few friends. So we wanted to we celebrated the victory. So of course everybody went to his home. 25th morning, Professor Uno called me. So I told you two godfathers. Professor Mills, Professor Uno. So Professor Uno called me and said, Kokuva, not a Hacho, not Legon Honom baby. On one to me and back Congress Nasibi. Intimembra Christmas Day and Opano. Let me be briefing on your course. So I drove from Dansuma in my Vectra.
That Vectra.
GW 2646Q. And I may call North Legon. So I went and saw Professor Awuno. We did all the debriefing and everything. By 8 Namo. Bibi, I was living there around 10:30, 11. Christmas Hamatan morning, 25th. Suddenly, I wasn't feeling well.
I think.
Was drying up.
Okay.
I was thirsty. And I was alone in the car.
And they said Hamatan, yeah.
I thought so. By the time I was getting to Spanner Junction,
okay,
I was blacking out.
Whoa.
I was running out of breath.
But if you feel so now you're healthy.
I thought so. So when they say people have
I'm
telling you.
Look,
I was virtually dead. Now, look at me alone in this vehicle. Virtually ran out of breath. Blacking out. Oh my God. Am I going to die? I'm dying. Lord, have mercy. I beg you. Lord, how I got to 37. Miracle is a miracle. Immediately I parked at the parking lot. I don't know what happened next. Sena officer be yere ehumi.
Okay.
Say mabe parking. And I'm in free car. So she now came. Long and short, she was the one who now organized a wheelchair, emergency. Christmas morning, you can imagine. All the senior doctors.
So you were able to drive from Spanner Junction to 37?
I'm telling you.
Wow.
When people talk about miracles, you don't know. So when people are giving testimony, now because about them. So people talk about it. And that day, of course, Christmas Day. So obviously there was no traffic. That was what Ambassador must have saved me.
Yeah.
So the car must have been going on its own. Of course, maybe I know where 37 is. So
subconscious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you just branch in. Long and short, from that 25th December until maybe February, I was on admission at Anoff Ward at 37.
Koku, sad story.
Hold on.
Is it about Neil Anti?
No. How can it be about him?
Okay.
Bibi, one person who sat at my side till I recovered was Professor John Evans Atta Mills.
Wow.
I swear.
Wow. When it's or not,
look, consistently, Obeba, Robert Tenamunchain, he will bring you books. You pray. Koku, don't worry. It will be okay. You'll be fine. Me can't cry. And it's your data, honestly. Yeah, I'm very emotional about it. Now, this man.
So you and Prof were there for each other.
That's the point I'm making. So after all this, we now work to win a general election. And the man decides that, look, wherever I am, you will be there.
Okay.
I'm not taking you to any ministry. I'm not taking you to any place. The role that you played.
And one about also.
That's I don't want anybody else to play that role around me. I trust you. And I need you. You write my speeches, you write so well. And in this book, you will see how some of the things that he said. In fact, he has written the foreword for this book.
Prof speeches in
every speech of Professor Mills, State of the Nation address, Independence Day speech, 6th March speech, July 1st speech, Farmers Day speech, ECOWAS, UN, Commonwealth Heads of Governments meeting. Just name it. I was writing all the speeches.
Was somebody looking for you?
Good question.
Yeah.
Because with the State of the Nation address, you will need input.
Exactly.
So you will get inputs.
From ministers.
Good. But somebody must sit down.
And put them together.
Good. And put a thread. That's the State of the Nation address. Yeah. But the other speeches, from beginning to end.
One outro.
Because I had
we had the be or was to look through.
Good. So in this book,
yeah,
in the what do you call it?
Forward.
Not in the forward, in the preface.
Okay.
So let me read. When the then candidate Atta Mills invited his secretary-to-be, Mr. James Bebaku Mensah, to the Koku Hill Campaign Center in 2008 and introduced me as his official speechwriter. I knew there was no way I could afford to disappoint. Indeed, when the president got sworn in, I wrote his first official speech and respectfully sought to show it to the president's secretary, Mr. James Bebaku Mensah. His words really touched me, and I knew I had a great responsibility. These were his words. But the president says you are a very good speechwriter. So send the speech to him. Once he's okay with it, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Unquote.
Whoa. That was the level of confidence.
The level of confidence. One young man at Koku Hill doing a lot of things at the same time. And this same Mr. Bebaku Mensah actually. So that's what I'm saying. President was born to Koku Hill. That's the respect the president had for me. He had to let me understand that Koku, when we win, and we shall win anyway, but after we have won, Mr. Bebaku Mensah will be my secretary.
Okay.
Here, you are my secretary. But at the presidency, because he's an experienced civil servant, administrator, and running a country is not the same as running a campaign center. Maybe, of course, I knew. All I could say to Mr. Bebaku Mensah was that, sir, I look forward to working with you. That is why I'll write my first speech and send it to him, because I know the hierarchy. Exactly. That now he's my boss. Yeah. But he now says that because the president says you're a good speechwriter, if he's okay with it, me too, I'm fine with it. Never again did any speech pass through him. Okay. Straight to the president.
And he didn't complain.
Mr. Bebaku Mensah. No, never. Oh, no.
So,
no. Okay. The reporting lines were very clear.
Okay.
Baby, so this is me and President Mills. And so back to Neil and Van that point. Then I'll end Neil and we can discuss something else. So my official role as a speechwriter, image manager, media coordinator, so your colleagues, Castle Press Corps, I had to coordinate them on all activities. So obviously, every official trip of the president, I'll be on it. Cool?
Exactly.
Good. Now, people like Neil Ante, you are director of operations, but there's no operation at UN. There's no operation in Abuja. Okay. There's no operation in Commonwealth. So you are not on foreign trips. Okay. That's the beginning of the jealousy.
Oh, I saw.
I'm telling you.
When are cutting your offer?
How could I? The list is prepared by Director of State Protocol, Mr. Kenkanda, in conjunction with the Secretary to the President, Mr. Bebaku Mensah. Okay. But finally vetted by the President himself.
But that could also be our assumption. Say, I'm building
this thing. I know I was there, Master. When things are happening, don't you know? So some of them will pass behind. Okay. Go and try and convince the Director of State Protocol to put their names on it. I'm not mentioning the other names because they have not antagonized me. Okay. And so to be unfair to mention their names. Okay. So I will not mention their names.
They
have not antagonized me. Okay. So in fairness to them,
you mention
no. Why should I mention their name? I'm only mentioning Nilante because of the consistency with which he continues to antagonize me. Okay. So on one of these trips to China, official trip to China, you are not part of the trip. So we are in China. Then the president calls me. The chief of staff, Martin Newman, has called him. That or no chief of staff, Atise Nilante or China. And all the businessmen be about China. Okay. Now in some Koko Sebe, Wajiji Jomusika said Omo China. Some president.
Sana Martin Newman Kachiro.
Sana President no can say this is a report coming from Ghana. Yes. Okay. And so Koku, you and Nilante are like brothers. Go and look for him and tell him how angry.
This is while you were in China.
We were in China.
The president.
Maybe I'm part of the official delegation. Exactly. So the hotel, wherever he was, I was there. Okay. And Nilante will be before with these businessmen.
But he was on the president's trip.
No!
I see.
Can you imagine, baby? You are director of operation at the presidency. Yeah. Unka presidential delegation to China. President 2 plane called China no. What they pay.
And so by China.
Thank you. A free presidency. Such indiscipline, gross indiscipline. And the chief of staff is worried that, Mr. President, if these young men that you worked with the Koku Hill, if you are bringing them to the presidency to come and disrespect me, the chief of staff,
okay.
You understand? Yeah. On that basis, and because the president himself is a disciplinarian, Koku, go and look for me and tell him, if he does not get on the next plane out of China, I'm going to instruct Martin Newman to dismiss him from the presidency, and that will be the end of his political career. I want you, Koku, to go and tell him. Me. I'm a hotel now.
Okay.
With a businessman. So, baby, I had this unpleasant duty. Very unpleasant. But the boss has sent me.
Okay.
In fact, there was a security man, Angola.
Okay. Angola.
Yeah.
Mati said
it. Angola and myself were sent on that assignment to go and look for me.
How did you deliver this message?
Thank you. And because of my respect for my own brother, and I didn't know how to tell him. When we got to the hotel, I had to look for 2 other senior people as part of the business delegation.
Okay.
To beg them that, look, this is the assignment the president has given me. Honestly, I don't know how I'll be able to tell me. So when he comes, you people help me to pass this message on to him, because the president is very angry. And Koku, I don't want me to lose his job.
Yeah.
And the president says he will not send anybody apart from me. So this is the job. And so they told me.
Okay.
And he left China.
So you could not tell Ni yourself?
Oh, but when he came, I told him that this is the job that the president has given me to tell.
But all catching in the presence of Angola
yeah. It's one man penny for Tenase. And I feel upon money.
Okay.
Because
it was that formal.
Yeah, want to be kind of direct in China.
Exactly.
It's maybe the need you go now. As me.
Yeah.
But my offer kitwani offer penny mo hobi.
Yeah.
But yeah, papa.
Say.
Yeah, papa say. Na yenya witnesses or chenanko. Bibi. President Mills dies, and I begin to hear. Said Neil Lante say, and that was when Neil Lante now was looking for favor from John Mahama, the new president.
Okay.
So people around John Mahama are now telling them, do you know what Neil is doing to you? He's one of the people destroying you to John Mahama. That even in China, you use your authority to sack him because he's looking for favor from the new president. I'm like, what? For 12 years, I've not said this story. I've kept it to myself.
This is the first time
I'm saying it now because I think I've had enough of the nonsense of Nilante Vanderpoy. I owe him nothing. He didn't discover me. He didn't take me into any politics. Why? I mean, but this business where everybody must take Koku's head to somebody for. So I finished with me.
But why do you think you are at the center of?
Good question.
All of these.
Good. There's one Samuel Koku Anyidoho.
Okay.
Who was called by one John Evans Atta Mills.
Okay.
My loyalty was to him and nobody else.
Okay.
Baby, that's how I am.
Maybe I don't know problem.
Yes, I agree. I have no qualms about that. But at least I'm happy about it.
Okay.
My loyalty. So in every attempt to get me to be disloyal to him will not work. On 2 different occasions, 2 senior party members, they too, for now, I won't mention their names, called me differently and said, and this was the Fonka game period.
Okay.
Said, Koku, I don't know how and Rollins, and then I couldn't do any Fonka for no. Sata na Kofi Adams no mo, Broja Jemfin mo yami no mo, Debio mu chabo, and President Mills said, didn't attempt. Na Koku Tio as presidential spokesperson na, Oma Wekoso, Masa. This was about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
By midday, we want you to officially go after Rollins and the wife. Bibi, of course.
Gurus in the end.
See your gurus. Gurus.
Gurus.
They are there today.
Party headquarters.
Well, they are beyond party headquarters. They are talking senior people.
Okay.
Who worked with Rollins.
Okay.
Today, they want me Koku Anyidoho to go and insult Rollins. Of course, I wasn't going to do it. So when I went to see the president I'm a born a man, baby. And the president said, Koku Tinasi. And then Mami Nkanjiro. Sankrofoi. They have been trying to scheme to get rid of you at the presidency. I've been watching them. And it's never going to happen.
There's no proof you're aware of.
Oh, the mommy, let me tell you. Then he said, Koku, it's a trap. The day you insult Rawlings, that's the end of your political career. Apart from the fact that your family will not forgive you, Voltarians will hate you for life. Wisdom.
So what, they were trying to use you, a Voltarian, to attack Rawlings?
Thank you, like they are doing today. So they use some Volta small boys to attack me, to create the impression that Volta doesn't like me. So my daughter will die, and they'll get Jifa Gunu to go and write that I deliberately killed my daughter to use her blood to murder John Mahama. Then they get Edu Jitamakulu to be Jifa Gunu's lawyer against me. Then they get some other small boys on social media with Volta names, and they're insulting Kokuso. Then the impression is that his own Volta people don't like him. It's the same game they wanted to play with me. Meanwhile, my father ended his career as a celebrated general during the period of General Rawlings. I'm sure 2 years ago you saw what Kagame did to him, how he honored him in Rwanda. Yeah. So if I start insulting Rawlings, I'm bored them. But this big, and that's how they are. They recruit you and they will destroy your destiny. So President Mills now tells Koku, that's what they want to do to you.
It's not quite a trap.
It's a trap. Koku never do it, never insult Rawlings. And you know what President Mills told me? Yeah. Koku, from today, know them, but don't let them know that you know them. That will be your survival into the future.
At the very point as I called Sunebaye from those two gurus, Omodesa mission to anymore. One kasa person.
I wasn't going to do it because prior to these calls, I knew things that they didn't know that I knew.
Okay.
Baby, God didn't create me stupid. I am very discerning. I have so many types, shades of myself.
Okay.
That me myself I don't even know. No.
Why is a chameleon?
Thank you. Agama.
One of the things
I'm telling you.
One of the things Omwa Obe describe as Omon Pewasem within the NDC. And I say Omo ba at you. Omo use against you is the death of Obabano.
Yes.
What is the story surrounding Obano Owuye? Circumstances because it keeps coming up.
Well, but even that one, so that one is a very painful thing to me.
I can imagine.
Yes, so but that one is private. Let's deal with what is.
But it has become public.
No problem. But let me just round up with this President Mills issue.
But we'll come back to it.
Of course.
All right.
Oh, no problem. I'll come back to it. I won't run away from it. Okay. I mean, it's a matter in court.
Exactly.
Because I'm in high court with Jifa Gunu.
Okay.
And that's where
the claims is
yeah. So I won't run away from it. It's a matter in the public domain. So President Mills says, Koku, don't ever insult Rawlings. It won't help you. It will destroy your political career. Don't do it. It's a trap. Fast forward, into President Mills' car, baby, no. I now got close to Rawlings. People don't understand. So maybe today is the first time they will understand. How did Koku get close to Rawlings? It was President Mills who told me, Koku, if for any reason I'm not alive and the opportunity comes, get close to Rawlings. You will need him.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you. He's the founder of the party. Today it is true. And but semi President Mills me ko to say Rawlings ya bona deja e wo bedwuma enye me na me freedom se me hwe na deja
yi mata
de e de kata na deja e de na kofie because se ene me ye Ghana mampanyi na me tiakonwa we so a
e ono na dom
se me dan yankopon twede ampon basama dom me dan na siwi a e ba na body nipa dasania nipa back the first person me dan na se no Rawlings.
Emra Fonka games in some Kosono, na Professor Mills and Rawlings in terms of saying.
Well,
at the personal level.
Yeah, at that time, now you're frosty.
Okay.
Now you're frosty. You see, and painfully, a lot of the frostiness was because of the choice of John Mahama as running mate. Yes.
Sir.
Yes, Rawlings didn't want John Mahama as running mate. But President Mills defied the founder.
I remember when he was declared running mate. Udu Kama Hall. Rollins do Kama Hall na program newe. But the founder was on his way to the place.
Bibi, thank you that you are saying I'm not saying it.
But Professor Mills was in charge then.
So the small boys who are insulting. Bibi, today you yourself have told your side of the story. Because the flag bearer and national
flag bearer one consultative founder no.
Consultative founder, but there was a bigger consensus from the National Executive Committee.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't a personal decision.
It override the founder no choice.
So National Executive Committee, Council of Elders, even though the founder was the chairman of the Council of Elders, but by and large, there was some consensus, general consensus. So at Kama, whatever happened, I won't give out the details, but whatever happened. And NEC endorsed John Mahama as running mate. President Rawlings got very angry because even before he could get there, the thing happened there. But that's politics. You play certain games and some games were played. That is why, Bibi, it hurts me that if President Mills suffered because of you and you became running mate, you became vice president, nobody challenged you. You became president. And talking about becoming president. Okay, so let me finish that one. Why? What is the issue? Bibi, President Mills died on 26th July. 24th July, 2024. Officially, 1:30 was the official time. 26th July, by 6 a.m., I got a call from Ablakwa.
Okuje to Ablakwa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that he was my friend, but he's calling to say, oh, I'm calling to check on you. How are you doing? Blah, blah. I didn't trust the call, but of course, you're bending.
At the time, none position you're then.
And he was the deputy information minister or something.
Yeah.
About
to not fry check on you.
That's what he claimed. I said, oh, so okay, how you doing? Fine. Anyway, okay. About 2-3 minutes later, Omani Bwama called.
And this was 2 days after Prof's death.
2 days.
Okay.
Counting the hours, it couldn't even be 48 hours. Because if it's 1:30 on 24th, and it's 6:30 a.m. on 26th, you've not done even 40, so it's less than 48 hours.
Yeah.
Now Omani says that, well, Koku, looks like Sami called you and couldn't deliver the information. Well, the real information is that yesterday, which was 25th, we had a meeting with the new president. And the president says that he cannot work with you, so you have to leave the castle. Yeah.
Sana, you breaking news in the
That is Omani Bwama. And that for obvious reasons, I'll have to leave the castle. As for the castle, the new president says he cannot work with me. So the president is dead less than 48 hours. A meeting was done the day before, and I was the subject of discussion to leave the castle.
But these are gentlemen, they had no position to convey even your dismissal message to you. It should have come from the chief of staff.
Thank you.
Did you take it serious?
Hold on. I'm happy you mentioned the chief of staff. 3 days later, I drive to Mr. Tuahoy at Westlands.
Okay.
Thinking that I was going for comfort.
Of real.
I'm a friend, so because John says he cannot work with you. I'm telling you, after 12 years, I'm mentioning his name. Uncle Atu, I have to mention your name because if I don't start mentioning names and straightening these stories, the wrong information about me is too much. Uncle Atu, John says he cannot work with you, so well, all of us, we don't even know our fate. No new president, he said, so Koku, are you going to go back to the bank? Bibi, the bank that I resigned from how many years ago, Mr. Tuahoy is asking, are you going to go back to the bank? When I left his house that morning, I got to so from Westlands, and you are now going back to Gimpa, is that not it?
Yeah.
So you get to the T-junction, Benab filling station.
Yeah. Right.
There was a guy, a newspaper vendor, holding newspapers. When I got to the junction, and I stopped, only God knows what was happening to me. He just dropped the pile of newspapers, put his hand on his head, and started screaming.
Vendor, no?
I'm telling you. He was seeing something that he hasn't seen before because he knew me. I used to use the road a lot. I was distraught, Bibi, that day that I didn't commit suicide.
What
was happening to me in the vehicle, no, it was inexplicable.
Oh, you were physically...
Look!
Really?
You don't know. Then the third one. Only God knows.
You were not aware of yourself?
Look, I was soaked in tears.
Wow.
I didn't know what was happening to me. Why am I metal?
You're a human being.
I'm a human being. Look, this that one and
okay.
A cool soon.
Okay.
Because in Kolanaka, I have black one on Manino Makana, me Tranyaba, Penyo, Abeji comfort. Now would you cry more piercing? And as you in Julius Caesar, you two Brutus, a two brute. Then the third one, you mentioned chief of staff.
Yeah.
Now, so this Omani Ablakwa Atuahoi group of, this was before the burial of the man. And the man, it took us 17 days to bury him.
Yeah.
So within that 17-day period, and Bibi, within that 17-day period, I'm a member of the funeral committee, working on the brochure, the journey, that picture book that we put.
Yeah.
I single-handedly sat at Kojo Bonsu's office in Palladium with my boys. Every single picture you saw in that book, I had to tag.
Okay.
I created a theme.
Okay.
I had to go to Cape Coast to the family house to go and look for family pictures to be able to tell a certain aspect of the story. It is in that period that I was being asked to leave. I was being asked to leave. It was as if people wanted me to die so they could bury me with Prof. But God was my helper.
But this sounds very much like Emrana Prof, your president, you're in charge of communications.
Let me finish the last one, then we'll come back to this one.
No, I'm on this one. It sounds very much like Emrana, we're in charge of communications at the presidency. It creates the impression, say, Biana, only until with Prof's exit, it was payback time. Is that not the case?
The truth of the matter is that, why? I'm a human being. I don't expect everybody to like me. Is that not it?
Of course.
I'm not expected to like everybody.
Yeah.
Is that not it? C'est la vie. But the truth of the matter is that, and I remember in my quiet conversations with Prof, when we were planning the exit, say, we were 8 years now.
Okay.
That's how even this issue of Foundation Institute we started talking about. Every time we beside me say, why don't you make a person when they make? I say, boss, I know myself. The kind of loyalty I'm me mistake. Now we 8 years. Now me tenacity 1 second.
So you were
I was conscious.
You were too loyal to Professor Mills to a fault.
Yes, to a fault.
To the extent that it could even lead to you stepping on certain toes.
Thank you. Because you want to, for example, you are sitting down there.
Ebisana would do to me too much. What they would to me, you showed power. It was time for them to show you power.
No problem, maybe to me. But I never got journalists into a wrong bus, for the bus to go and crash, for one to die.
Yeah.
And then when the friends are mourning him at 37 and taking pictures, I will go and take their cameras and be smashing. I never did that. Those who think they can accuse me, I don't know the ones who were doing that kind of thing. Abusing everybody at the presidency. No. What I did was to protect the president.
It was alleged, say you didn't respect John Mahama as vice president.
Oh, I've heard several times. Up to now, they have not been able to provide a single evidence. But we're not going to let me forget my thought. Let me finish my thoughts, then we'll come back on this. You talked about chief of staff.
Yeah.
So the third one was now the chief of staff, Martin Newman. He summoned me.
Okay.
After now the burial of Prof. And when I went to him, baby, it was the same story. Koku, look, there's so much pressure. The president says he cannot work with you, so no, you'll leave for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, call back. Then we'll see. We'll determine your political future.
So just to bring that into Chino, Martin Newman said, President Mahama, why new president? So intimate no nyejuma.
Into Bomodi na
Colive.
Yeah, Koji Wahumi. Na watching in Sia.
Insanity.
Now watching.
Okay, 6 weeks.
6 weeks be.
Okay.
By the time I back no, then ya baby I do better. But by that time I had built a certain level of resilience. And I'm kind of saying baby.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the point I'm saying why? I'm not going anywhere.
Na Mahama so ntimi no nya adwuma
Na me say me nko. But I gave one caveat.
Okay.
I will go on condition that chief of staff you write officially to me.
Okay.
Because when President Mills wanted to appoint me, who throw krata bremi?
Yeah.
It's not my presidency. The chief of staff, ni amu na mu ye obi afra me na yasin me coming. Maza, sebe, mako school, my juma, UN, United Nations High Commission for Refugees here at the bank. I told you, the executive assistant, I understand corporate governance. Nobody's going to get me to go on leave without any letter. Yeah. You see, it was a trap.
Sir.
The moment you step out.
Okoya.
I say Koku Anyidoho na Mpema Mahama Semiti. Atta Mills we no. Ojahoko. Look. What people do in the middle of the night, I don't know. Me in the middle of the night, I pray.
Okay.
So before day breaks, I know about everything that's going to happen. I'm telling you, I have a gift. My Christian name is Samuel. So my book here is Samuel.
Okay.
I am a prophet and a seer. I see.
By virtue of the name, or indeed, you see.
Indeed, I see.
I
know. And that's one of the reasons why President Mills loved me and never, because yet not me political analysis, no money. Like, what? You are gifted, eh? Master. So you are the gift.
He didn't take the challenge to write to you.
He couldn't write to me because I said, say, write to me. So now when I leave the castle, the first runabout at the castle, I won't go to the Independence Square. I will make sure that the media waiting for me at the runabout. Then I will show them the letter and say, Ghana media, international media, this is Henry Martin Newman, Chief of Staff of John Mahama, that I should leave. So that, let the record state that I didn't desert post, but I have been sacked, and so I've left. And I'm sorry, Jan, when I'm a now,
letter number.
It never came.
Up till now.
Up to the
castle.
So we won the elections.
Okay.
And then they now left to Flagstaff House.
Okay. Omuja castle now.
Castle now, Omuja one afternoon, around 2 o'clock. Now Valerie Sawyer, I sent me a message. Said by close of the day, I should pack out of my office. Civil service language, close of the day means 5 p.m.
But Koku, come to think of it.
Now, if I want to tell the story...
Why do you want to still hang on?
But America said, in 2013, if I told the chief of staff, I said the current mandate that I have at the presidency, it was given to me by President Mills. So I will stay for us to win the 2012 elections. To be able to protect his legacy. After 2013, when President Mahama is sworn in on his own mandate, and he doesn't want to work with me, fine. But for now, it is President Moses' mandate. That is why if you want to get rid of me, write to me and abrogate that mandate. So that's what happened. So after 2012 election, when President Mahama won, 2013, all of us, everybody for himself, God for us all. And I'm Mujaye. And I'm sorry, I'm quite now and I'm a share puno.
I see. Now, Juma.
Massa, what I go do?
The seat had moved, so.
But let me also go and sit down there and try and reminisce and try and find redirection for my life. Am I? And I'm a boy. And then one afternoon, yes, and also Paki Frio. But the point I'm making is that
because you're obsessed with Professor Mills Abejatum.
No,
obsession.
It's not an obsession. I've told you.
A loyalty.
Okay. That is why, after 12 years, I've remained loyal. So fast forward, Mahama becomes president.
Yeah.
Then I now shift to party headquarters.
Yeah.
As deputy general secretary. Cool?
Exactly.
Good.
When you support from John Mahama when you were bidding for general secretary, a deputy general secretary. When you support,
I don't remember.
What they or request go to the name?
No, I didn't have to. I knew I had worked sufficiently. And you see, that is where Asiodun Ketia also comes in.
Okay.
So John Mahama becomes president. And there's an agenda to get rid of all Professor Mills's people at the headquarters. So Kwamina J is targeted as national chairman. Asiodun Ketia is targeted. Yao Jan is targeted. The youth organizer is targeted. So then now some group of people come to me and say, Koku, we want you to go and contest Asiodun Ketia as general secretary. We want to get rid of him because he's too powerful. And Flagstaff House, we don't want him. What am I hearing?
No Flagstaff House.
Master, you see, now after 12 years, the boys who have been insulting, but they want to hear, so they'll hear. They tried it 3 times, and I said, I'm not interested. I'm not going to contest Asiodun Ketia. By that time, they had convinced Kofi Adams.
Who are they?
Flagstaff House.
Yeah, but they are individuals in Flagstaff House.
I say Flagstaff, the system in Flagstaff House.
Okay.
It's a system headed by John Mahama, is that not it?
Yeah, but the system.
So there's a system.
By individuals.
But it's a system, it has a head.
So when I catch us a contest,
you hold on. So they had gotten Kofi Adams to step down from deputy general secretary to come and contest Yao Jan at organizer. They had gotten Potofe to come and contest Kwamina J at national
chairman.
Good. Who is going to contest Asiodun Ketia? So Koku Anyidoho, and I'm saying, look, I don't fight anybody's battles for them. And also because you are telling me that because General Mosquito is powerful, who doesn't want a powerful general secretary? And also because you are saying you want to get rid of Mills people, the people that you are mentioning, who is more Mills than me? So if you want to get rid of Mills people, why do you want to you need to go and replace them?
They actually opened it up.
I'm telling you, the emissaries. If it's not true, I don't know, but the emissaries, who came? Baby. Then Asiodun Ketia himself now came to me. Say, Koku, Nekosu Nyina Mateo. Me dawa say, papa. I feel the man say we nipa.
Okay.
Saying to President Mills or do a power semno. I feel the Matthias here. Me shawo bo. Me ko ne prince any. Me we prince ana. Me ko anai.
Okay.
Obaba me deputy. Then you can continue because Volta. That was when he opened my eyes for the first time to that argument. Anyway, so that's how Kwamina J was removed and thrown out of the headquarters. Yao Jan was removed. Asiodun Ketia, even then they couldn't find anybody. They still went and looked for some Farakan guy.
Farakan.
Some Atlanta, nobody knew him. But they still wanted somebody to contest Asiodun Ketia at all costs so that he won't go unopposed. My brother, this is how John Mahama entered the system. You came, you removed Professor Kofi Awuno, chairman of Council of State, from Volta region. He went and died in what do you call it? Kenya. Painfully. Even some of this.
If you say he died painfully, it's as if say a natural death. We all know the circumstances
of
his death.
Yeah, painfully. If the Al-Shabaab people killed him, it's not painful.
But the way you put it sounds like but that is not the point.
Well, that's your interpretation. You came. This is some of the people I'm talking about. You removed Uncle Atu Ahoy as GMPC board chairman. You removed Kwame Pepa as Senate board chairman. You removed Totobi Kwachi, National Communication Authority board chairman. And some of Prof's people, you just threw them away. Meanwhile, I am Deputy General Secretary. And I'm hearing a lot of things, but I'm stomaching it. But I'm hearing things that people are saying that, hey, John, you. In spite of all the things that I heard, Bibi, am I not the one who held a press conference to say that John Mahama is in a comfortable lead?
Yeah, but that's a collective interest, Anna. You're not doing it for John per se as an individual.
Look, who was a
party? You were part of the party.
I was part of the party, but I held the press conference.
Yes.
Because I said Ketia was nowhere to be found. When Julius Debra called me, that President Mahama says that because Julius and I were very good friends. Okay. Everybody knew. In fact, until Julius became chief of staff, the Flagstaff House was a no-go area for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had been declared a persona non grata.
Thank you.
He was the one who was able to become chief of staff before I was able to enter the Flagstaff House. Because until then, they said I was an enemy to the president, so I can't enter the Flagstaff House. I'm telling you. Look, so Julius called me. Charlie, me man. Charlie JM say, make you try do something. We they call your boss, Mosquito, we need to find him. He phones all day off. I be with the deputy operation, make Charlie make you do something. So, with my team, and with figures that we were able to put together, I held a comfortable lead press conference. And Bibi, why didn't I, my boy?
I said John Mahama is in a comfortable lead.
Thank you. I didn't say Atta Mills is in a comfortable lead.
Of course, you couldn't have.
No, but I'm saying that that's how loyal I was to the party and to the flag bearer. So I will work for the party.
But you couldn't have said Sankawonya's press conference, Nana.
Why?
You had an option to.
Initially, I told Julius I wasn't going to do it. But he begged me. Why wasn't I going to do it?
Why?
Because prior to that, as Deputy General Secretary, FEC had taken a decision. We went to Akuse for about a week.
Okay.
I led the team to Akuse to go and draw up a campaign strategy.
Okay.
In fact, the day we arrived at Akuse, the next day, Peter Tokuno, baby, may her soul rest in peace. He was then, I think, deputy research or something, one of my boys at the time. Today, they've all got independence and they insult me. May God forgive them. So, we did a campaign strategy. Bibi, all the things that we said should not be done.
No more.
No big billboards.
Okay.
No celebrities. No splinter groups. That's exactly what they did. Doves for Lordina. Rats for something. Penguins for this. Lordina ladies. Mahama boys. Mahama girls. Mahama this. Everything that we said. In fact, there was one billboard at 37 roundabout. A swarm, masa. It was even causing traffic.
Obstruction.
And somebody obstruction. And I was told that they said, oh, they used the F word. F. Yeah, F FEC. FEC is Functional Executive Committee. So F FEC. The FEC that sent Koku and Co to
F to them.
F to them. We will do what we want to do. That's why when Julius called me, my initial reaction was that if you are going to create your own problems, carry it at the presidency. Then because of my relationship with him, Charlie Mema had a beg. Charlie, things don't be. People, Charlie, make you do something. You don't look for your boss, you need to find them. Because of friendship again, loyalty to friendship. I went and held a press conference. Later that day, Bibi, much later, I'm still at the headquarters, still trying to galvanize and see.
Much later is about how many days?
I think it must have been a day after.
Okay.
Because the morning after, CNN, Al Jazeera, BBC, and all, they all came to headquarters.
Okay.
They wanted to know the basis on which
we declare
you are in a comfortable lead. Of course, I won't give them my game plan. I just told them I know what I'm doing, and so I've not declared results.
Okay.
I didn't declare results. So as to whether he's in a comfortable lead or not, it's none of their business. I didn't declare results. I mean, it's someone I'm not sure. I'm the bull.
Koku the bull. Koku the
bull. Anyway, so a day after or so, while at the headquarters, baby, then some of my boys come and tell me, boss, Charlie, behave. Press conference.
Press conference.
President John Dramani Mahama.
Okay.
I hear press conference when he were cantonments. I said, Ketia. Almost no. Amunyano. Wabeland. Wajini Batakari. Green and white. The baseball chair. Adani. Nino Efechi. The Niaji. Long and short, they were holding a press conference to concede defeat. Without consulting me.
What can I say you are in a comfortable lead?
The height of treachery and betrayal. I'm a barracks boy, I've told you. I've read some military strategy. So when you are a war general and you people are in the war room and you send other generals to the battlefront and you want to concede defeat and fly the white flag, you must inform the generals in the battlefield. Otherwise, they will kill all of them. That's what they did to me. They were flying white flag.
When you were on the field?
When I was in the battlefront.
Sacking international media and all of that.
Fast forward 2 years, MPP had to pick me up. Holy Tuesday, that I wanted to create a coup. Funnily enough, it was on this same program, a power that a free FIFA. I see history has a very interesting way of repeating itself. Until MPP was able to pick me up. Of course, they didn't, I wasn't touched, nothing. But it was a spillover of how I was left in the battlefront to be killed by the enemies.
But you made some more trances.
What are trances?
Based on that, you pick you up, Anameboa.
What? That there will be a civilian coup d'etat?
Yeah, of course.
What do you mean? What is a civilian coup d'etat? And I explained what civilian coup d'etat means. Demonstration, picketing.
But Mahama Besrao.
Good. Which the people...
So it is not like you were left in the coup.
Hold on. And then they say he came to sign my bail bond.
Is that not true?
It's not true. It's complete false.
Who bailed you?
Nobody. My father, my uncle bailed me.
And your John Mahama bailed you?
So what was the scenario? So I was deputy general secretary.
Yeah.
And I'd been picked up. Around that time, people were also getting ready to contest John Mahama. You see, because this is 2018.
Yeah.
And per the NDC's constitution, say oppositioner.
You choose a flag bearer a year.
2 years.
2 years to the next election.
So December 18, we should pick as against December 20.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So by this April, Easter time, Alban Bagbin, Spio Gabra, Professor Alabi, Sly Mensa, they had all entered the race and contesting John Mahama, that they all want to become flag bearer.
Yeah.
So when this thing happened, John Mahama was in Sierra Leone on some ECOWAS Ebola mission.
Okay.
Every one of these flag bearer hopefuls came to visit.
Oh, okay.
Every one of them. In fact, the place that John Mahama came and took the picture, Alban Bagbin came there. Now, the point I'm making is that because I was deputy general secretary and they all came out of a genuine heart, none of them took pictures. John Mahama flew from, because his people told him that, look, this is Koku, the deputy general secretary. Look at how, look at the crowd, look at the nation. If you don't fly in and visit him, the Bagbins, the Spios, Alabis will use it against you. So, baby, he flew in, came and took pictures. So who benefited from who?
So you mean that Omon Besra wa Bambag Bene Joshua Labi Munina no in picture?
Nobody took pictures.
So it was only John Mahama picture.
Because he wanted to use it as a trophy. So he came to parasite from my incarceration. Today he turns around and they say he came to bail me. But how did he bail me? Which bail bond did he sign? Which bail bond did he sign? Then they say, police people went to my house. Yeah, they went to search my house. And so when they went and found we and some things, blah, 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 blah. And so that is why I went and signed some peace pact with them. Bibi, what was the issue? Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing incriminating.
When ask, nothing. Why, you think that they had found something incriminating, they would have left me? You think if they had found something incriminating? They were looking for weapons, actually.
Maybe there was plea bargaining along that.
Am I in the ambulance case to be plea bargaining over what? Now, what happened? So, in the period, I was not touched. In fact, I was not even interrogated.
Oh, really?
No!
You don't call Keke.
No interrogation. Nobody came to ask me even one word. And when I said, after 48 hours, paperwork, blah, it was politics. You understand? So I also understood that it was politics. And as a politician, in fact, as an anecdote, and Panos one called die, there were BNI cells, according to the BNI official, some
I was coming to BNI for power.
So there be to them mattress. Titi, my daf, but there so daf.
Listen to tomorrow, pa.
And then no, menka.
And if you see a bow.
And now, yes, Fred is saying, some mattress so. Up earlier on, near power.
Okay.
Kennedy Japan so bedazo.
Oh, okay.
So I have something common with Kennedy Japan.
You share the same bed.
Exactly, but that's by the way. So I was not touched. Nothing. They thought I had some underlying health problems.
Okay.
So a doctor was on standby. Because if anything happens to Koku, because of what they have seen outside, then they'll say they... So Master,
they took all precautions.
So when the whole thing was over, Holy Thursday, around 4 o'clock, I was to be now released officially to go home. And the media, you people had picked up, already said, I had come out of the cell, and it was just paperwork. And the paperwork seemed to be delaying. So it was, tension was growing again. Then Mami Yatiwa, COP, Adodankwa, who was a CID boss, said to me, Koku, I've not done this before. But because of the circumstances surrounding this case, I'm going to allow my men to escort you home. If my superiors ask me, I will defend it, because Holy Thursday, if we let you out and on your own, so let me take you home. Go and rest. After the Easter Monday, come back and let us begin the whole
paperwork.
Paper and by that time they had seized my phones and everything, so that they were going to run checks and everything. Now, in the process, Bibi, as a politician and a growing statesman, I observed the professionalism of the police and then the BNI. So as I sat through my quiet moments, so Mandela went in for how many years?
24 years. 28 years. 27. Yeah.
He came back and was able to let go. Meanwhile, in the solitary confinement, if you look on the walls,
inscriptions,
Massa,
philosophies.
I tell you, shout to me someone for the
acronym.
What your calendar, because after a while you lose count.
Okay.
In fact, one of the funny incidences that happened was that, so I think the second day, early in the morning, the officer came and had lost count of time. Watch time. We used to watch time.
Why they took your watch too?
Master, what?
They divest you of BBR.
Master, you are in custody. Who are you? Who born dog? So when he came and I asked, I said, "Oh, boss, what's the time?" He looked at his watch. Then I'm sure he must have remembered the drill. I'm not supposed to tell them the time. Then he looked at me. Oh, the watch is not working. Because that is the drill. Let
the amount of time now you find your bearing.
Thank you. Let the suspect lose time of everything. And then if he has really done wrong, Obekasa. It's part of the drill. Anyway, so by the time the police took me home, when I got there was a Joy FM reporter. Krachi Afreniama or something. That was his name.
I know his name.
So live, they are watching you arrive live. And he puts a microphone to you straight. Koku, you have been, how do you feel? Were you manhandled? I said, no. There was no torture. And that the police and the BNI, they've been very professional. Bibi.
When you say,
why did you go and come and not come and insult the system?
But we're in political environment.
One
would exactly expect that reaction from you.
Why? Am I a fool?
Because of the way we do our politics. One would have expected you.
So let fools do the foolish politics. I've never been a fool, so I don't do foolish politics. I do politics based on conviction. So when I'm aggressive, it's because when I was around Professor Mills, when I was at the NDC headquarters, I was privy to information. I knew the strength of the information. So when I'm going after the MPP, I go after them with that strength because I know what I'm talking about. I mean, but I was never stupid about anything I did. So I've gone, I've come.
But you know that thing also created the impression, more or less giving a positive review of the way our BNI4 handled, gave the impression that the government of the day must have either struck a deal with you.
What deal?
Or
so that the deal is what?
We have this on you.
That is
and to go and be careful what you say.
That is the propaganda. That is the propaganda. They got what on who?
On you.
Me.
While you were at the castle.
What? On the castle?
Yeah.
Which castle?
Emra now here Juma as communication director.
They had nothing on me.
Okay.
It's just me and my conscience. The people didn't torture me. And I saw police officers who work professionally.
Okay. I then also don't know no kind of fraud.
Look, baby, I said it yesterday morning, and I'll say it again. Ghana has a soul and a spirit. People don't know. The nation has a soul.
Oh, okay.
And has a spirit.
And a spirit.
Yeah. Every geographical entity has a spirit and a soul. Happy FM, whether I like it or not, has a spirit and a soul behind it.
Tell me about that.
Happy FM has a foundation. The foundation is its altar. You may not know, but whoever created Happy FM created it on an altar. You may not know.
Okay.
You understand? When I say altar,
I may not have insight into these things.
Yeah, okay. So let's know. But what I'm saying is that the Republic of Ghana is an altar on its own.
Okay.
It has a spirit. It has a soul. Embodied in our symbols, the anthem, the flag, the coat of arms, is the spirit and the soul of the nation. The institutions of state run on the spirit and the soul of the nation. Now, you know that treason is the highest crime you can commit against your state.
Yeah.
For me as a Christian, the highest crime that Lucifer committed was to try and betray God. For him, he was thrown out. Now, if I go out and I go and lie about the institutions, I've betrayed the state.
Okay.
The state will not forgive me. Even though if it's not me, my unborn generations will come and suffer it. I don't want that. Let us do the politics, but let us be mindful.
Are you that principled?
I'm very principled, though.
Really?
I'm not a saint. Nobody's a saint.
That for Adian Kebetimiama or party a political advantage or an edge, you looked at a certain principle.
2004, when Jacob Bejebilamte, may so rest in peace, went and had that press conference at the Castle Garden and declared the results. As young as I was at the time, hot-blooded, Prof, and not me alone, of course, and quite a number of us. Move us into the streets. He said, no, sir. If we go into the streets, you people will die. Or you'll be hurt. When you are dead and you are gone, what will it benefit me?
Yeah.
Let's allow Jake and Kufuor to take it. If it is God's will, 4 years, 4 years, and I'll become president. But you see, I want to become president for you people to be alive. I don't want you to be people to die before I become president. I'm telling you. The morality of leadership. The morality of leadership. That is what, and I think on my ex this afternoon, I said something to the extent that apart from my own upbringing, my father, my mother, my parents, a lot of the morality of my politics.
Free Professor,
I'm telling you.
Koku, Emra, at the presidency, it was glaringly clear, say the system didn't want you, That period, now with salary bar.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Oh no, I was still on salary. Yeah. Okay. Oh, why not? I won't lie about that. Because I'm still on payroll.
Okay.
That is why I wanted
the letter. Okay.
Because you have to give me the letter and then go through official processes and take me off salary. And I didn't want, you see, then again, if I'm earning salary and doing nothing, that one I'm not interested in it. So let me stay, work. But if you don't want me to earn salary, then give me an official letter, let me go. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the case, say, after your arrest, and I was starting to call against our party and John Mahama?
After the arrest?
I think so, Anna.
The arrest was in 18. Easter of 18.
Okay.
Up until November of 18. Why? I was campaigning to become General Secretary. So how could I be going against Mahama?
At what point? And I started a call against Mahama and the party.
So I'm happy you brought this. Yeah. So after the incarceration, and by that time I had declared to contest General Secretary and contest as Yedun Ketia. I've given you the story of good, so I won't go back to it. So I went into campaigning all over the country.
But how did Yedun Ketia take it? Because he had blessed you earlier and said, say, what it in the Kosunina da was say ubo nechidom.
Yes.
actually, won our contest,
But he said he won't go. He said, "Mimi Kobium." Yeah, you know that he blessed me. Or share me, bo. They are two different categories.
Okay.
Yes.
Or share boss.
Yes. When she ran me,
now one now be call.
thank you.
Okay.
And come share. And I said, boss. Sorry, boss. And I don't need his blessings for anything.
Okay.
But I was working on that promise.
Okay.
So there was no way. And then I think if it's not the same happy at the cabaret, and I said hot. So they had mopping
nomination.
Good. And I was interviewed. Double contesting. Apparently, Aseni Ketia thought that I should come back to him
and discuss.
And come and seek permission.
Okay.
Then again, Aseni Ketia, I don't need your permission to progress in life and in politics. Yes, you're my boss. And for the records, go and check. From Potofi was national chairman, Ufosu was vice chairman. All for the 4 years I worked with Aseni Ketia, not once did we argue. I served him and served him well. So now, to answer your question, after incarceration, I'm busy campaigning.
Yeah.
To become general secretary. Charlie, Bibi.
Koku.
It's in that period that I began to see the mountains.
I see.
Jesus Christ. People.
The mountains and the valleys.
People who had promised that Charlie will support. Master,
oh,
I'm telling you.
I'm for sure.
Look,
some support too.
You're looking for them, you won't find them. Those who are honest enough
will tell you.
Will tell the boss.
Mean to me.
We have been whipped into line. John Mahama says we shouldn't support you. And that if you become general secretary, he will not contest flag bearer. And that he doesn't want you as general secretary. He cannot work with you. So this story that he cannot work with me was beginning to repeat itself again. Then fast forward, on the day at trade fair in the dome, John Mahama came, stayed there throughout, was on his feet, and made sure that I didn't win.
But we are so important to the extent to say your bid to be general secretary, it's Myanmar.
Sure.
John Mahama can say, "Who be secretary flag?"
Yes, that time no na.
Koku, are you sure about this?
What are you talking about?
And I will come be to validate maybe the missiles and salvos you are firing.
Missiles and salvos. I'm giving you the chronology.
Okay.
Me, that was the first time. So after the results were declared, in spite of all the things that happened, that was the first time I heard the Bobole Bobo song.
Okay. Bobole Bobo.
Mensu, Betty Bobole Bobo. What's that? Me tip trade for honor. Now Bobole Bobo.
Everything.
Say Koku Anyidoho na.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. But you see,
where the akuti anim ni wura. I can see akuti anim ni wura. So where the now ni maybe fiba.
But when I was observing the
atmosphere,
the voting process,
okay.
Must have one voting. Also because something had happened. When I went around campaigning, people would tell you, Master, your message is too strong. If they hand over the party to you, you are going to collapse a certain generation. And they too, they say no. Because, yes, your 8-point policy is strong. That's what the party needs. You see, but you see, when you bring it, yes, you see, you are too straightforward. Because one of my
thematic areas
good was that as general secretary, I would never serve on any board.
Okay.
Talking about board anyway. So the 8 years of NDC, I was not on any board. 4 years of President Mills, no board. 4 years of President Mahama, no board. Okay. So people shouldn't think that I was on board and those who say I'm greedy, I benefited. I was on no board. In the case of President Mills, he said, Koku, I'll be looking for you, and they'll say you are at a board meeting. Stay here, let's work. In the case of President Mahama, it was very interesting. I'm Deputy General Secretary. Is that not it? National Chairman is on board. Vice Chairman are on board. General Secretary is on board.
You were not on any board.
Youth Organizer is on board. Women Organizer is on board. Deputy Organizer is on board. National Organizer is on board. Koku Anyidoho was not on any board. I actually went one day to go and see my friend Julius.
Okay.
You know the board I was looking for?
David.
Ghana Refugee Board.
Because
I had worked
at the UNHCR
before.
Okay.
So let me at least go there. If I'm spending time with some refugees,
be fulfilled.
That one today I was told that, Master, Charlie, the main man said that place to be like, space no deal. Look, no board.
Koku,
look,
I
said, so in this my book, and to the glory of God, the book is not about John Mahama. They thought it was going to be about him. No, why would I waste my time writing? No, I didn't really work with him.
You may not write about him, but you talk about him.
Oh, it's not about him.
Consistently.
What? I'm only telling these stories, and these are facts.
Are you bitter?
No, I'm not. I cannot be bitter. So fast forward. After John Mahama made sure that I didn't win at trade fair, the same Koku Anyidoho, in the spirit of, just to show you how I love the party and I'm not petty. So this all happens. Then now, we are finished with national executive elections. We must now go for flag bearership to elect who will lead the party. Is that not it? So now, President Mahama, Alabi, Bagbe and Co.
Yeah.
Then this same Asenuketia calls me one morning. And I remember where I was standing when the call came. Okay. So this is early 2019. Say it's year 18, November, early 19. Because that primaries was in March of 19. Okay. So around January of 19, the general calls me and says, Koku, I said, Mr. Boss, me, in fact, today, I still call him boss.
Okay. Ofrao.
No, I'm from me, Kasabian, but I mean, but there's no really conversation between us. There isn't much to say. So he calls me and says, Koku, me paucho. Me pese, oh, you might be my party. No? I'm saying, boss, why wouldn't you say me the party you might be? You might any day. Sir John Mahama, ne Alabinu primary senior on Babekoi.
One nigga say.
This is mosquito.
Okay.
The other 5 patch say, executives for Frona. Yeah, take over no. Omun trust you mubia.
Happy FM.
Say you be fair primaries, presidential primaries, because you know at every point in time, openly no. You declare say yeta John Mahama.
Happy FM.
What can we declare for Mahama?
That is the problem. I never declared, and that's why he's calling me.
Okay.
That who Koku Anyidoho rupe atama na ukaye hono. One declare I'm John, and the reason why I kept saying we shouldn't declare is that, look, isn't it obvious that John will win? So why go and declare the obvious? Why go and declare the obvious and create problems after the primaries? It is obvious that the guy will win the primaries. But so what business do you have going to declare for him? Let's keep quiet and play neutral because we are executives.
But then you're obvious, Anka. Ubeka sa same way.
Say
na enye obvious say John Mahama be winning.
But wasn't it obvious that he will win? So why should I go and declare when I'm a deputy general secretary and create enmity for myself among the other candidates? And that's the point I was making. That let's allow the democratic processes to roll. Because when it is all over, we shall need everybody on board. Hey, we anti-JM. In fact, that's when the real anti-JM thing started.
Okay.
Because at meetings, you will say, please, let us not declare for him. It is obvious that he's going to win. But let us play neutral. Anyway, so they won't listen to me. Now, Asenuketia is calling me and giving my stone. Say, Abemu. Until Omo cannot say they cannot trust us. So we need you, Koku, now to come and be on that committee to give it legitimacy and credibility.
Okay.
I'm saying, General, say what me say, baby. I went and worked on that committee chaired by Kofi Atto.
Okay.
In fact, I became the spokesperson for the committee. And out of my voice and the neutrality, when the primaries was over, the other people couldn't do anything. Because any attempt, it was fair. It was okay. It was fair. It was okay. And that's how John Mahama became our flag bearer again in 2019.
So what? If you really hated Mahama and Kabere Weana?
So where is the story? Where is it?
So
where is the evidence? If he hates me, okay, now let me answer the question. Good. So there's a set, so Standobe, good. He is one of the master brains behind all the things going on. Why?
Which of the things? You mean all?
Almost all. Why? Because Standobe, when you were at Joy FM, I've told you about 2004 already.
Yeah.
When they declared that results.
Amuba Kuku Hill.
He didn't come. He's not part of Koku Hill.
Yeah, but you mean the media was there?
Good.
Komla Dumo Dems were
fine. Fast forward. You stand up when you were having your problems at multimedia. Me, Koku Anyidoho. I called you one morning, met you in a house in Kokomemle. No, Natabi.
Okay.
And I used my paper, Ghanaian lens.
Again, I remember that paper.
Yeah, with Komishagbe. And we fought some battles on your behalf. You stand up in the media. Of course, finally, multimedia threw you out. Anyway, that's not my business. I never knew at Koku Hill. I never saw you there. Then we won an election. Then we were functioning at the Information Ministry. With Zita was the minister.
Yeah.
Then James and Ablakwa were her deputies. Whatever you were doing there, I don't know. And I'm managing the presidency. Somewhere along the line, I started seeing you around the presidency. I mean, but people started telling me, Koku, be careful. Watch that guy. What that guy has an agenda. And I'm saying, oh, what kind of agenda? I mean, I'm so confident about my space that I don't fear anybody. But Bibi, what happened? One morning, then Obobia is hosting the morning show.
Okay.
And then now she has called Standogbe, interviewing him. And Standogbe is now speaking as if he's speaking as the presidential spokesperson on behalf of the president and the presidency.
And the president at the time was Professor Mills.
Professor Mills.
And you were in charge of
And I was in charge of communication. And I don't know that you have been giving me an appointment.
Okay.
Then I start getting calls. The president himself called me. Koku, what's this I'm hearing that they say a certain Standogbe is now, have you given him some appointment without me knowing? Are you tired of the job? I said, I'm not tired. Then what is it that is going on? I said, don't worry, I'll handle it. Bibi, you know me already. The boo! With military precision.
Happy FM.
And I called him. And I said, hey! Egba.
Female call.
Zigbanto klo mamla. No catcher. And then no first, no last. Shishije can bene. Kole! Come on! I don't like that kind of thing. What is your locus here at the presidency? If you are the vice president's office and you are walking around there, I don't have a problem. But never again should you attempt to speak on behalf of the president or even the vice president or the presidency because you have no locus. Apparently, he gets very bitter. So when President Mills dies and he now takes over, he's the master brain behind a lot of the things against me. Standogbe.
Is it true, sir, Professor Mills' team, the team members, and John Mahama team members as vice president then?
You mean Shaje? There was a president and there was a vice president.
But I said, teams, members of their teams, now you had issues.
Which issues? He had his team. And of course, and every vice president will have aides anyway.
And nothing the because now Emrana John Mahama vice president now umuno.
Yes, me lock in the office.
Ubune nimtiapa.
Yes, me lock in the office. Na me ni kikofi. Oba na odo na ohwehwe. Yes, in the car, me two car, na me the car no nam. Na yes, me to meet in the car na bonus.
See, your excellency crown free ni bi. Your excellency crown free ni bi. Won fa say ni die ni ma no.
It will find say, hey,
friend John.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Enye no kre.
Look, at every point in time, the vice president had not less than 3 escorts.
Okay.
Including his police ADC. So if Koku Anyidoho, Madani Mehu Captain Planet, and I say King Kong Superman, me bo policeman escorts me here. I've my chief vice president kasa. Now me bring no. Now the whole presidency here. Because I could deal with Bonnie.
Obi
to me. Chanton can do. Yes, sir. Now vice president vehicles. Now media. But two. Now me the nam who. Because me need you be here. I'm telling you, me need you be here, yes, sir. Me myself, my own office keys. Not one day did I take my office keys home.
Okay.
Per the protocol, we will all leave our office keys at the reception.
Okay.
So even me, I leave my office keys at the reception, who will give me the vice president's office keys? Some me compare them all. With all the military police discipline there.
But you had influence.
Which influence?
As the director of communications,
I had work to do.
But you wielded power and influence.
Which power?
And kabeti mi ajiki.
I don't be going.
Oh, say to show power.
I said power no. Say be san kwasha power na me there. San kwasha power na me there.
To show that
you are the bull. There be na head. I'm not a fool. I told you I was brought up in Burma camp. Father side, mother side, very disciplined family people. And President Mills, as president, a disciplinarian. Professor Wono, chairman of Council of State, disciplinarian. Kojo Chikata, Rawlings and co. on the sidelines. So who's going to allow you? Mr. Bibakume is the secretary to the president. In fact, one day, anecdotally, Mr. Bibakume is Friday, where are you? And of course, share Friday, where be by. Senna, president, so I said a similar thing.
Okay.
Out of the kind of discipline that existed, and he, Mr. Bibakume himself, he had to go back home
and change.
He said, Koku, it's not allowed. I cannot dress the same way the president is dressed. It doesn't happen. I mean, this is the kind of discipline that, so in the early stages, I thought I could dress anyhow. So Bibakume said, Koku, no, you are the presidency. You will have to dress the way you have to dress. You're not a Koku Hilo. You are at the office of the president. So these are old school Gold Coasters.
Koku, mame kind messages kakra. I'm for here power live on Facebook. You're doing for us also join us live on Facebook. Now, Bexente Del Sempre are joining us live. Or CBB, you asked a very salient question. Koku's affiliation with Professor Mills made him feel untouchable. He needs to come to peace with himself for his actions or inactions before going after those he feels have wronged him. In any case, would he have gone against Professor Mills like this had he also, quoted unquote, betrayed him? We all have inner problems. The ones you want to respond to me, you can do so. Esuo Kwawu Inteso say NDC never again. Greetings to incoming MP Amasama and Yaya Kasim. Okay. So Manoa Jesse says, I am enjoying Basa Basa. John Mahama planned well the real Ejapadi book or the account. Ampa Benkojo said, Bibi, please ask him for me. What really does he really want now? And offer to her, mommy, what do you really want now?
Yeah. What do I want now?
Yeah.
I want the vilification to stop.
You are being vilified.
The attempt to create the impression that I am anti-JM. It must stop. That's all I want. I have never been. You went and considered defeat. You handed over power to Nanado. And what happened? I had the opportunity. I mean, you had the opportunity 4 years. You didn't build us from Joe Park. Not that we didn't remind you. We reminded you. After you handed over power to Nanado, I got the opportunity to meet Nanado, Bibi. And that was the first time I entered that office in Flagstaff House.
Okay, because, the president's office.
Yeah, because like I said, the 4 years of John Mahama, I never entered that office. I never even, but one-on-one, Koku, what can I do for you?
President Akufo-Addo,
what can I do for you? How did I get to meet him?
And I say you've been compromised.
How did I get to meet him? After, it was at Sir John's funeral.
Okay.
At Ono.
Oh, yeah. Sakra Ono,
because Sir John was a friend. One conversation led to another. Then it was like, okay, we can create an opportunity for you to meet the president because I was worried. In fact, Sir John's burial place.
Yeah.
And I was worried that it is Seminia Sir John. It will know her.
Yeah.
Burial place here.
The whole
former president. President Mills. And as Joe Park, I said, Bolano. So when we get to Accra, whatever I can do to beg President Nanado,
Nana Mills.
That if you can do this for Sir John here in Ono, I beg you, let's do it at Asumdwe Park because it has become a burden on me. I know the dreams I have. I know what the man I see in the dreams. Apart from that, I get calls from all over the world because everybody knows of my closeness to him. That is that how you have left the place? Is that how you have left the place? That's how the meeting was facilitated. So Sir John's funeral and Sir John's burial place.
Sir advocacy, no.
Thank you. That's how the meeting was arranged.
Now, Did you ever had the occasion to tell John Mahama, say,
what are you talking about? Why? He was president. We told him, the party told him. It doesn't have to be me. I was deputy general secretary. We reminded him, you were president. We buried the man. The agreement was that 1 year after his burial, that place would be built up.
Okay.
First year passed, nothing. Second year passed, nothing. Third year passed, nothing. Fourth year passed, nothing. How do you justify that?
Who said the
Ask him. The day you meet him, ask him. Don't ask me.
My mentor messages in this. Daniel Akase, good afternoon, BB. Koku, I see the president in you, but since you don't know how to keep quiet or say sorry, it has been taken from you. Please try to learn how to say sorry. Pray, go back and plead with the party leadership. Your sin can be forgiven. Ampa Benkweju said, every king has the people whom he trusts to work with. Yeah. And it's normal, even in corporate organizations. Ampa Ben says again, there is nothing wrong with someone being not able to work with you.
Yeah.
Did you have a problem with the fact that John said,
I had no problem. That's why I said they should give me a letter. And so when...
Genuinely, you had no problem?
I had no problem. I've told you that I was plotting my own exit with President Mills, haven't I told you? It is because of that knowledge that every king will have his people around him.
Emra John Mahama be president.
Yes.
Did you ever had the occasion?
Yes.
Or did you ever have the occasion to ask him, say, boss, I am available. There
was no need. There was no need. So if you can't get... Why? Am I the only Ghanaian?
Not at all.
Good. So if you have served at the presidency for some time and a new president has come, and you cannot be there, so what? Move on. That's why I moved to party headquarters.
Okay.
Yes, that's all.
And
today I've moved on. I'm doing other things. Now the same people who say move on. Today they say, why have you moved on and you are doing Atta Mills Institute and you are on your own? Why don't you come and do party work? Thank you.
Joseph Amwabena Virgin said, Koku should know that our former president was his boss, not a family member. So he has no right to anything with his family. And whatever you say against the NDC will not hold water. NDC is still NDC and are winning power in 2024. David Ahedo said, Bibi, why allow him to talk too much? Call Neil and Van der Poel also. So David Ahedo, Wabebi will say, Koku, who insulted Rollins? And your dad led you to go and beg him. Bitterness is it.
Oh, see, shame. My dad didn't lead. You see, this is the kind of thing they do, propaganda. My dad led me to go and beg Rollins. Rollins. How did I get close to Rollins at the tail end? I'm not the one who took Rollins to Asumje Park to go and lay a wreath. Who? When you people, small boys, were insulting him for no apparent reason, my dad led me to Rollins to go and beg him for what? You are the ones insulting.
Kwesi Filmmaker or say this man has always wanted to destroy the NDC and JM. That will that. We read your messages and edited in intimi and kinda make sense of it. Or say you are a better man. You hate Mahama and you think JM will die. The man didn't do anything, but you hate him for nothing. Okay, the rest I would not repeat because they are insults. And Pacho Makachem say, "Me program wouldn't attempt the bar. I won't glorify it." Filippo Kwabre Kasam said, NDC cannot lead Ghana to the promised land. Greetings to Father One. Okay. What is your expectation of the NDC 2024 elections way? Ombewini.
Is it not the Senate who said they are sacking from the party? So all these ones who are making the noise, what's their problem?
But you see yourself as a member?
Of course, because nobody has given me any letter.
Still.
And you see a lot. And you see a lot of these boys who are saying this today. They were the Funka boys who were in the business of insulting President Mills when he was alive. So they believe that I'm insulting President Mahama. I've not insulted him. I've never insulted him.
2024 elections. How do you assess the chances of NDC?
Well, there's work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done. It's not going to be easy. I mean, on both sides of the divide.
Who follow JM campaign?
Well, I mean, if you finish condemning Agenda 111 and now you say you will continue. And so the opponents use it against you. Am I the one who asked you to say it?
How did you condemn Agenda 111?
But you said it was not feasible. It was not possible.
Or say overly ambitious.
Yeah. Now you say you continue. You are going to, what do you call it? Take out licensure exams and add it to something exams. Is it not the same exams? So I'm saying if you go to Boko and you go and now start comparing the population in that enclave and downsizing what is in Northeast, and NDC members in Northeast are now angry at you and holding press conferences and going at you, am I the cause of it? I'm not the cause of it. I'm not your communications advisor. I'm not around you. If every day you are, the people around you are going after state institutions, now there's going to be a presidential debate. You say you will not partake in it. Why? In 2012, when you were partaking in the debate, you were setting a record as the first sitting president who had agreed to participate in the debate. And the IAEA records state it, because as for Rawlings, forget it. There was no debate. So the IEA debate itself started in 2000. 2000, our candidate then was President Mills. Yeah. But he was not president, he was vice president. Yeah. But he didn't participate as vice president. Yeah. Kufuor won that election. Yeah. Kufuor became president 2004. He didn't participate. Yeah. 08, that one, candidate Mills, candidate Nanado, Ndum and Co. Yeah. So there was no choice. Then President Mills dies, President Mahama, you took over, 2012, sitting president, and you agreed to contest. The IEA record state that you are the first sitting president to have contested, and it is true. 2016, Nanado
declined.
So 2016 he was opposition.
Yeah.
2020 Nanado declined as sitting president. They're not it. Now going to 2024, you are declining as
2016. Mahama called for a presidential debate, dared the NPP to a debate. Dr. Bawumia Kachrene said, "Our debate be one Ghana for Omunio Jumaye and Koyesa debate." And they are giving Dr. Bawumia the same response.
My brother,
Koku,
don't forget that. You see, don't forget that you have been a sitting president before.
That's true.
Bawumia has not been a sitting president before. At the time, maybe he was saying that he was just a running mate. You understand?
Yeah.
He had nobody to account to. But in your case, you've been president before.
But Bawumia a running mate or a vice president, and he's calling for a debate.
But he's not president. He's vice president, and he's calling for a debate.
Yeah.
So why won't you go for the debate? So because what is going to happen is that...
But whatever issues he has to debate over, Dr. Bawumia has the opportunity to deal with in power today as vice president.
So,
head of economic management.
So forget about Bawumia.
Okay.
It's not about Bawumia. I'm talking about that IEA platform. That today.
Before say very important.
Masa, your running mate, Professor Jenana Opoku was a moderator on the IEA platform in 2012. Is that not it?
That's true.
So we are talking about the platform, not the personalities.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. The principle, not the individuals involved.
Who advised Mahama and Kabaka so uncle?
Why not? Why not? But they said he won't go. And because I don't work in Ghana alone, I work across
the continent.
Exactly. And this book, part of it shows that. So when they are insulting you, they think you have nothing to do and they think you are hungry. Asumdue Park, those days when it was horrible. Oh, these same people who are insulting. They used to sneer at me. That's why I go and sleep. But I'm back to the issue that when I met President Akufo-Addo, and he said, "Koku, what can I do for you?" Bibi, typical, the average human being, I would have been asking
for material things.
I want V8, I want Prado, I want contract, I want oil field, I want this, I want that. Because the reason why I got to meet him was because of what I saw in Ono.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to change my principle. I maintained the same. I said, "Sir, the reason why I sought audience was because of Asumdue Park. So if I come here now and ask for anything else, even the people who arranged it, they'll have no respect for me again. So please, Asumdue Park. We are in 2020, sir. 2 years from now, 2022, will be 10 years after the passing of the man. The state in which it is, if we get to the 10th anniversary and it is still in that state, the disgrace will hit you and hit the nation. I think that the nation has suffered enough disgrace over the state of Asumdue Park. Can you please do it?" That was when he agreed. Coastal Development Authority got not Koku Anyidoho. And then it was done. Now, fast forward 2022, when now suddenly some people, the naysayers, realize that, not knowing that Koku alone has been carrying this thing, or the Bejidio, then that's when they went and created this heritage, Atta Mills Heritage, something. Then this same Milante and Samuel Atta Mills went and held a press conference, looked for all the Kotorob, Alubam, Akobam, Shitobia, what you say, and the family say, Edison say, me, Makoto Atta Mills fun, Eddie Dumpene Johnny, and the common do say on your draw. And people believed it.
Koku Tiwe Mame.
Koku has stepped on the wrong foot by tampering with our brother's grave without our knowledge. That is totally unacceptable. And now we are going to deal with him because it's a taboo in our family to do that. Whatever that you want to do, Koku has stepped on the wrong foot by tampering with our brother's grave without our knowledge. That is totally unacceptable. And now we are going to deal with him because it's a taboo in our family to do that. Whatever that you want to do, you have to consult the family, and we have to give you our approval because you have the money to go and do everything you want. Well, my brother preached Asmodri, but some of us, we sometimes reserve that Asmodri.
Voice of a sister.
Which sister?
Of Professor Mills.
Which sister?
I'm not sure the name.
So I'm not going to even
but this was at the press conference.
Why? 2022, no.
I have few years, you did Professor Mills official da.
Who tampered with yeah, he's your brother. But the state buried him.
Yes.
And the state has decided to give the place an uplift. And who tampered with the grave? If they removed the horrible metallic covering on the tombstone, on the grave, to put the nice edifice that they have put there, that you people now go there every year to go and lay your wreaths. So who tampered with it? Am I the one who got the contract?
Koku, what's it that? Someone for say, when your family member
it is
Professor Mills.
It is the most absurd argument I've ever heard.
Tell me about that.
Why? In the Bible, my Bible that I believe, was Peter a blood relationship of Jesus Christ?
No.
And who is Christ? Who is the rock on which Christ's church is built?
Peter.
So when the family have slept on their rights, so that 10 years down the line, 12 years down the line, Asumdwe Park would have been smelling like that, a family would have been happy about it. So when one person, I said, and blood, who says it's only blood that is family? Who says only blood that is family? And I've just told you, when President Mills called me and we covenanted, none of them were there. None of them were there. They should be ashamed of themselves, rather, that for 10 years, they did nothing about Asumdwe Park. It took me, and because of what their brother meant to me, today I do it and they go and live it there. They should be ashamed of themselves.
This year, this Africa, they almost say, Wakofa family be a woman, almost rented people. Look, and now the Makojina Sunday Park say, Omo Professor Moses Bushian for. Bibi. Koku.
When the man was alive, all public records, still free.
Utiam.
Thank you. All public records stated that Ofri Utram, no obituary in Bibia Utram. So if people from Utram, and it's unfortunate that we're not on live television, but I would have shown you pictures. That family, while Prof was alive, they used to come to the castle. You will see Prof in pictures with them.
Okay.
Cadman in pictures with them. All the same people that today have become rented family. All because your agenda was to suppress them. And when I was accused of going to dig up the grave, Bibi, then they now came to me and said, why am I digging up grave? They now came to investigate for themselves.
Okay.
When they realized that it was the state that was reconstructing Asumdwe Park, Then they decided, Mushin Insue, Ushinsa, Koku Anyidoho. Say woman, and now we are the papa. Am I this year? And as Samuel Nikad Manumu did it. A free neko. Yen at President Mills. No mammy ebusian for because I can form a mother and a mudiza. And I before and crime for not the day. Fancy for I can for and I didn't amudi. So they will tom. So he and his brothers may be sharing the same surname, but who says they're from the same mother?
Is it true, Senna President Mills investigating the Vice President John?
I won't go there.
No, him.
I won't comment on that.
Why?
It's not. I've chosen not to comment on it. No, I won't comment on it.
Really?
Yeah, I won't comment on it. I won't comment on it. It's not everything I'll comment on. That's none of my business. I won't comment on it. Some of the things, it's not everything that you say. Some of the things, the ones that I'm saying to set certain records straight. As for the others, I leave it to the people and their conscience, to posterity, to Judgment Day, and to other things. All I know is that President Mills meant a lot to me, and I don't have to be a blood brother or a blood son. And besides, his only son, Kofi, Atta Mills, maybe every event Atta Mills Institute has had, Kofi has been there. Even when the sword was being cut for the construction of Assembly Park, Kofi was there.
Did Atta Mills ever sit you and John Mahama down together to broker peace?
There was no need, because there was no fight, so there was no need for peace. There was no need. There was no need. I didn't disrespect the advice, so why would the president have to call me and tell me and say we should broker peace? There was no need. It would never happen. It's all a figment of people's imagination.
Edia now considers the biggest legacy of Professor Mills?
His love for God and country.
Okay.
That's his biggest legacy. His love for this country and his love for God. For me, that's the biggest legacy. And for me, it's the same love that I'm carrying around for this country. And President Mills, yes. Even this early morning, I was reading one of the speeches I wrote for him. Okay. I was just going through. Every night I do that. And one line which caught my attention again says, not everything is politics.
Okay.
Not everything is politics. There's more that unites us than divides us. Not everything is politics. But unfortunately today, everything has become politics. Everything. So even when, you see, and this vicious cycle. So MPP does well, you cannot comment. NDC does well, you cannot comment. So you get caught up in this vicious cycle. So today you're talking about agenda then 111. But they will remind you, because some time ago you said that it was not good. So the thing is good, but because some time ago you said it's not good. Now when you even come to power to continue to say you are afraid, and then the hawks around you are saying, don't do it, because if you do it, they will give credit to your predecessor. That's why we're in this vicious cycle.
Uncompromising thoughts. Book way, and then inspire.
Well,
then inspire.
It's a collection of things. The foreword is by President Mills, something that he gave me before he passed.
What catching so be true book?
Funnily enough, Obi the manuscript. What we say technically, somebody brought his manuscript for Prof to go through and write a foreword.
Okay.
And so he gave it to me that I should go through and do the foreword. So after I did the foreword for the person and everything, then he said, but you are my speechwriter, blah, 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 blah. Don't you have any intention of writing a book one day? I said, of course, I'll write a book. Okay, go and do a foreword and bring for me. But make sure that the foreword is not book specific.
Okay, general.
Do it in such a way that it can cover any book. Okay. I couldn't be bothered until he himself asked again. And I did, I went, he read it. He said, keep it.
So you wrote your own foreword?
But he asked me to write it. And
so he didn't read it?
The presidents don't write.
Okay.
If he gave you somebody's own to write for him, presidents don't write. Don't direct the speeches for him to read. The important is that you okay it and sign it. And that's all. Letters, secretaries write letters and they sign.
But this is a foreword for a book that was yet to be written.
That's what I'm telling you, that he said, do a generic foreword.
Okay.
Give it to me. Let me.
Once he okays it,
yes.
It is as good as on one watch.
Yes.
Okay. Koku, would you want to see the NDC back in power?
Why not?
Will you help?
If I'm asked to help, why not?
Would you offer that help?
You see, then again, that's why I have not left the NDC and I only leave the NDC. I mean, I said this sometime ago.
Meetings at your constituency level?
Of course. Yeah, the constituency level, we are still talking to party people. I think even in my car, if you go, you still see an NDC, what do you call it, or something. So nobody can sack me, except that one of your callers, one of your texters said, it was very clear that every leaders have the right to. It's true. So the current leaders have a right. And they don't want you close by. And because I'm not a beggar, and I have talent, and I have other things to do, I'm concentrating on those other things. One day, leadership will change again.
Koku, the boo.
That's all. Leadership will change again. And we'll come back. The status quo shall come back. Then those ones who today they think they are laughing, they'll be at the door be looking at us. I say leadership will change again.
Koku, I want to thank you this afternoon.
Well, Bibi, thank you too. I mean, as for those people, those ones who call me bitter, they are more bitter than me.
They are more bitter.
I'm not bitter. I've moved on with my life. I mean, I'm doing other things. I consult. I do work. I'm into theology. I preach. I do other things.
So you're commissioned software?
No. I'm a theologian.
Okay.
Because
you're
of
a student of the Bible.
Yeah. Okay. And so I do other things.
But you preach?
Of course.
In what church?
The EP church and other churches.
Okay.
Yeah.
So invite me to church one of these Sundays.
So 2 weeks from now, I'll be 2 Sundays from now, I'll be preaching. I'll give you the.
I would love to.
Yeah, come and listen to me preach.
Yeah,
you'll love it. So
I would love to listen to you.
I'm multi-talented, and I have a multi-purpose, destiny in this system. So those ones who insult that I killed my daughter, and they think that, you see,
I forgot about that because what is the circumstance surrounding Obadiwu?
So this little girl was in a vehicle with the mother and the younger brother. Accident, Akuse Junction, and then she passed.
Commercial vehicle?
No.
Okay.
My private vehicle.
Okay. And were you driving?
No, I wasn't driving.
Okay.
A driver. So I'm called and I have to rush to Akuse Hospital. I go, my little girl, 8.5-year-old girl.
Oh.
Charlie is dead.
Oh.
I have to put her in the morgue. Go through all these traumatic processes. Yeah. And of course, you see, customer, abofra, manenche. So she passed on the 7th of November, 2020, and we buried on the 17th. So 10 days.
Okay.
Ibn told me that. And you are running around, you are doing all this, and you have to because you are a father.
Yeah.
And so we go and bury her in my hometown in Tanigbe.
Okay.
And we've done everything. You finish. And because of this same politics, which has gone vile, extremely vile, especially with social media. In our time, there was no social media. So now social media has gone vile. And people get rented to insult. They finish, they take screenshots. See, BBFN is screenshot.
Yeah.
Then they take and send a screenshot to their paymasters. And that's how they get paid on a daily basis. The day I heard it, I was like, wow, you were born. Your parents named you outdooring. You went to school, you finished. And this is how you earn a living. By insulting and doing screenshot. May God forgive you your sins. So we'd finish everything. I'm minding my business. When me, as Deputy General Secretary, and when junior colleagues, their people die, you are running around. I've just told about Tokuno's wife. And Fred Agbanyo lost the child in a vehicle. I think the asphyxiation, but hey, nobody will sympathize with. Nope, that was not a problem for me. I can survive that. I can manage that one.
Nobody sympathized with you.
When you finish.
Wow.
Yeah. When you finish.
The top brass of the party didn't even.
Even the low brass have much more the top brass. Koku has become a pariah. Yeah, like a fiend. A fiend. It is out of that a fiend. That Jifa Gunu. Ochia. That Jifa Gunu go and write. That Ochia. Utimudin Ding. The President Mahama Nam, Benin, Togo, Burkina Faso, India. Se ube yi nin kwan free hono. A untumi succeed no. And wakukuba. Se udi ni moja beko nyankuma die. So I'm so wicked and callous that I've tried now. Just me bad moja no. Me nko pesi fan kone sike dro empe sike ndi o. Pese me di kunjo Mahama. Abba bibi. To what extent? what really is my crime? That I contested for a position, I didn't make it. I was called to come and serve on the committee. I served, I've moved on. And so what am I supposed to do? I don't attend meetings. I am not a national executive any longer. You have national executives. Let them do the work. And let me add this to it. One of the reasons why I can't even go on air and speak officially for the NDC. Because when I had my issue, of course, the BNI, CID, the party rallied around me. Fast forward, for example, for national chairman. On the recordings. Actually, finally, one morning, he had to go to the CID headquarters. So I was no longer executive. But I also followed. Why not? Solidarity. They go to CID headquarters. In my usual, and because I had been an old student.
Graduate of the BNI cell.
CID old student. Alumni. President of the CID
I tell you.
Old Students Association.
You should have a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Police for no Koku. Hey. And no focus out. In the process, a media person, one of your media colleagues, anyway, Parker Wilson.
Okay.
Those days he was with Joy.
Yeah, now with Oripa.
Good. And so Parker was doing some reportage. And I thought I didn't like the line.
Okay.
So I accosted him. The Parker, Charlie.
Then now
can. By that time, people were beginning to pay attention to both of us. So Parker was like, okay, Charlie, then, honorable, if that's the case, why don't you speak live to the studios? I said, don't get here. Who is that who wants to talk to Koku Anyidoho? Who is that who wants to interview Koku Anyidoho? Don't you know that he is no longer an executive of the party? He went for an election and he has lost. He has no locus in the party. I'm the general secretary. Come and interview me. Bibi. I'm telling you at the CID headquarters.
I see.
And I shook my head. I said, you, General, just because I contested, you think you can embarrass me? Of course I felt embarrassed. Why not?
Did you react?
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't react.
You just moved away?
I just moved away. And baby, since then, yes, actually it is true. I have no locus.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. So if I go and speak, and they come and say, hey, baby, whatever he said, he has no locus, won't I look stupid?
Of course.
So I don't want to look stupid. So I focus on the things that I have a locus to speak about. That is it. I have my peace of mind.
Samuel Sichofe Koku Anyidoho. Akpenao kakakaka.
Bibi, akpenao.
Mauna Yirao. Thank you so much.
I thank you to my brother, Charlie. It's been good. It's been good. As for those who insult, God forgive them.
Occupational hazard.
I tell you. In fact, I meet some of them.
Oh, you do?
Not the ones, these ones, but every now and then you meet one of them. Honorable, forgive me. I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Now I know.
I see.
And so, c'est la vie.
C'est la vie.